And now, please welcome your host from Fox Sports, Amanda Busick.
Those three words are better than anything. It's Bristol, baby, and what a dynamic year 2025 will be for Bristol Motor Speedway. We have dubbed it the Big League Year, and today you're going to find out why. What an incredible way to kick off this season for Bristol Motor Speedway. We're going to have two NASCAR races pop in here in the spring and the fall. The first is just about 30 days away from now. I don't know if you've heard yet, but there is a Major League Baseball game that's coming to the state of Tennessee for the very first time in a matchup between the Cincinnati Reds and the Atlanta Braves coming in August. And one after my own heart, in June, you'll see the return of the NHRA Drag Racing Series here for the Thunder Valley Nationals. And that's not it. We're also going to have monster trucks, PDRA, street fights, the DER Series, the NHRA Junior East Coast Finals, and so much more. It'll be one incredible season here in Bristol. First off, as noted, my name's Amanda Busick from Fox Sports. It's a pleasure to be with all of you here today. I also want to say to everyone on the stream, hello, welcome in for joining us here today for such a dynamic event, and we're gonna get things started. Todd? Now, what is that? If you hear this song today, that means that some lucky fan inside the audience is going to receive a prize today. I need a bucket. Who's got a ticket in here? Get your ticket handy. All right, here's how this is going to go down, though, today. Ashton, who's over in the corner, is where you're going to go pick up your prize. So we're going to do this Price is Right style. Come on down. So every time we hear Sinatra today, that's when the prize will be handed out. And our first lucky winner. Oh, I will absolutely keep this today. All right, everyone got your tickets? First number, 329822. All right, okay,
All right.
with the Braves hat on. We did not stage this, I promise, but that is one for the Braves. What's your name? All right, Nathan, so don't forget you got to go over there to pick up your prize.
Congratulations, you won a really cool 2025 Big League Year hat show print. And again, like Amanda says, for all prizes today, go over to the left side of the stage and visit with Ashton, and she will help you out.
All right, well, let's go ahead and get into the meat of what our day is today. It is my esteemed pleasure to welcome to the stage the president and general manager of Bristol Motor Speedway, Jerry Caldwell.
Thank you, Amanda. I'm watching NASCAR drivers juggle baseballs back there, okay?
Oh, well, you speak baseball, and here at Bristol Motor Speedway, I think you have the B's covered this year. We got baseballs, we got burnouts, we got bump and runs. What was this like putting together a calendar like this, Jerry?
Well, it is certainly going to be a big league year at Bristol Motor Speedway. We've got a lot going on. We're thrilled to have starting it off in just 30 days, which is crazy, our Food City 500 weekend. Following that up, as you have mentioned, we'll have Super Grips NHRA taking place back in Thunder Valley, and then welcoming for the first time in the history of the state of Tennessee, Major League Baseball here at Bristol Motor Speedway. So we're thrilled to be able to do that, and then round out the NASCAR season here in Bristol in September with the Bass Pro Shops night race. And then we've got monster trucks and PDRA and all these other events mixed in between. So it's going to be a big year at Bristol Motor Speedway.
Do you sleep?
Yeah. I have 6 kids. They may you pass out, more like it when you get home.
Well, I think we're going to take a look at a sizzle reel for the Food City 500. So much tradition and so much history in this race. Back to that afternoon start on Sunday. It's also one of the longest running sponsorship series in this sport. What can fans expect this season, though?
Well, we are always thrilled to get the race season kicked off here in Bristol with our friends at Food City. The Food City 500 weekend is an amazing weekend. It's going to be a big one. It's going to be one of the biggest spring weekends we've ever had in Bristol, having all three national series. We've never done that for our spring weekend with trucks, Xfinity and Cup, but kicking that off on Friday with Bush's Beans practice and qualifying and in the afternoon, and then that night the trucks will take to the high banks at Bristol with the Weather Guard truck race. 7:30 start. It's going to be wonderful. And then next day, Saturday, action all day on the track again with the SIAPS 300, concluding all that action at 5 p.m. on Saturday. And then we'll have Bush's qualifying right before that. And then on Sunday, the one that we're all waiting for, the Food City 500. We are so honored to be longtime partners with our good friends at Food City, to be able to welcome people to this great region. We've had a tremendous response from the great racing we had last year. It is certainly paying off in ticket sales. We're going to have a lot of folks showing up. I think moving into April, we love that. We love being in mid-April, and I think the fans are responding very well to that. Great options to bring out the family and enjoy all the fun here in Bristol. So we look forward to people coming out.
I like one of the notes that I have here on Friday and Saturday, kids come free.
That's right, yeah. And I mentioned my kids earlier, but being a father of a bunch of kids, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
If you think about it, and we do, when we go to events, being able to bring your kids for free to an event Friday, Saturday, kids are just $10 on Sunday. Not only that, we all know that's part of the expense, and then buying them all the candy and sodas they want. But at a NASCAR race, you're able to bring your coolers in and bring your own stuff. So it's a great opportunity for kids to come out and enjoy.
Well, thank you, Jerry. Todd, you got something for us once again? Oh, look at that. It's Frank Sinatra again. This one I think is for something.
I think
this
it
one's
is.
pretty dynamic. You have 2 tickets to give away to the Food City 500.
2 tickets to the Food City 500, and the song is in honor of the Las Vegas race this weekend. 329-856. Looky there.
All right.
Yep. I think you pick it up over there. Is that right? Yeah. Yeah. Congratulations.
Well, as we just gave off 2 tickets to the race here in the spring, we'll see you guys again come the fall. What's the fan experience like in September at Bristol?
Well, it is one of those storied weekends where it has so much history. All the races do here in Bristol, but especially what's known as America's Night Race. It's a crown jewel event on the NASCAR circuit, and there is so much action. It's kind of getting towards that playoff time. We're the first cutoff race in the playoffs. Not that you need more things to up the ante at Bristol, but it certainly does that. So tempers flare, sparks fly. It's Saturday night, beating and banging, and it's a full weekend. So it's Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday night again, and it never disappoints. Always thrilled to welcome folks for that weekend.
I mean, to have all 3 national series competing for it all and to stop through Bristol, I mean, this race has mattered to these drivers, to know that it not only impacts what could finish off as a championship season, but the idea that your fans get to witness part of that.
That's right, and they want so often to win at Bristol. Winning at Bristol is a big deal in anything because these drivers know that it's a driver's track. And when they're able to conquer those high banks and make it into victory lane, win that sword, it is a big deal, and it is one that every driver wants. So whether that's for the truck race with the UNH 200 presented by Ohio Logistics, or that Food City 300 on Friday night, or the Bass Pro Shops night race, any of those 3 are a tremendous honor for them to be able to win those races.
Just quickly, what are some of the VIP experiences around that race?
Oh my goodness, there's lots and
What,
lots.
aren't there?
Yeah, you can go from sitting in a suite. We've got very affordable options to enjoy it in the air conditioning. We've got great opportunities to be down in the infield, watch from a rooftop, watch from bushes, banks, and brews. Wherever you want to see it, check it out, because it's one thing we have over the years really been able to elevate all the other options and experiences that race fans can enjoy.
Thanks, Jerry. Who's been to a night race here at Bristol? Awesome. Well, let's take a look at some of it.
Welcome to the land of the free, where we pledge allegiance to the flag, salute racing's rich history,
I'll see you again.
I'll be back.
gladiators and dare taking on the last great racing. The last race on Cincinnati's NASCAR playoff weekend returns to Bristol Motor Speedway September 11th through the 13th. Get a weekend package of the camping star and look at a weekend arena. It's not just a night race, it's Bristol, baby.
And now, please welcome to the stage from Roush Fenway Keselowski Racing's NASCAR Cup Series team, Brad Keselowski. From Richard Childress Racing's Xfinity team, Austin Hill. And from McAnally Hilgeman Racing's Craftsman Truck Series team, Daniel Hemric.
I love that Brad was just off stage, and as his announcement was made, he was like, "Is that me? Yeah, that's you." And what you have also done here in Bristol is pretty historic, winning in all of the 3 national series right here, joining the likes of Kevin Harvick, of Joey Logano, Mark Martin, Carl Edwards. What does it take to do that?
Bristol is just its own unique challenge. I had the opportunity to do some ride-alongs here about an hour or two ago. And, the big story here is the baseball field, right? I can't wait to see how that event plays out. But what's interesting about being a race car driver, particularly in NASCAR, to me at least, is that the racetracks, they're all different, right? When you play, on like a football game, or when you play soccer or whatever your sport is, the fields are pretty much the same every week. But here it's like you get good in motorsports. Like you get good at one track and you're like, hey, that's great, we're going somewhere different next week. And so it's really hard to, in some ways, Amanda, master your craft at a track. And Bristol probably even more so, because since I've been coming here, I feel like the track, and I don't know where Jerry is, but I feel like he's got some little trick he pulls on the track here every year. He's like, you got good here, we're going to grind it now. Oh, you got that figured out, well, we're going to put PJ1 on it, or we're going to bring a different tire. Yeah. So you're like, it's so hard to build reps to where you really understand what it takes to win and be good at a track. And Bristol even more so, because it's a really intense track. There's no track like it, that at least that I've ever seen or ran on, that you can really learn from. So you end up learning. I always call it the hot stove method of learning, which is you keep touching, and you're like, ow, that hurt. I'm not doing that one again. It's a lot of hot stove lessons, but overall, I just really appreciate Bristol, and it's such an intense racetrack. When you go around there, it's a half-mile track. It's the fastest half-mile that I know of. When you get in those banks and you just feel the G-forces, and you recognize that you're going to put 40-some cars out there, and it's just a whole different animal than any other track, and it challenges you, I feel like, to be at the top of your game at all levels because of how fast things happen, how many different nuances there are to the track, and it's been good to me. So I love coming here, and looking forward to being back here in, what is it, about a month?
About a month.
About 3 weeks, something,
I
4
know,
weeks, something like that.
it's flying by already.
Because it's honestly no experience like it. That first time they start practice, and you drive off a pit road, and you're grabbing gears, and you're accelerating down the straightaway, and you drive into that corner, and you go, oh yeah, it's still Bristol, right? No matter how much experience you have, when you go through the corner and how many G's that is, it's a ride.
Well, it's affectionately known as the last great Coliseum. And for you two, what's Bristol to you guys?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a very tough racetrack for me. I think Brad here needs to give me a little pointers because, I've had some success here, but like Brad said, it does seem like the track changes every time you come here. It's not the same racetrack that you come to each and every year. So, for me, I've had success here. I've actually had a shot at winning here in the Xfinity Series before and finished third one time, and then other races I run 15th all day. So it's a very tough racetrack, a lot going on. I think this is one of the racetracks that you have to be very mentally tough because you catch lap cars so quickly here and you don't know which way they're going, if they're going to be bottom top, and every 10th matters, especially at a half mile where you get slowed down by a 10th here, 10th there by a lap car. Next thing you know, you're getting pressure out back, and it just makes for a really tough race. And then to stack it on top of that, you have 500 laps for the Cup Series and I think 300 laps for the Xfinity cars. So physically, you're kind of drained after the races. I know I am anyways. So yeah, there's a lot that goes on here at Bristol. It's a fun event. It's crazy to me that we're going to be putting a baseball game inside the racetrack.
Right.
When I was inside the track just earlier and seeing the infield and seeing how they're going to do it and kind of seeing the renderings and the posters and everything up, it's going to be a really cool experience, and hopefully I'll be here to be able to watch it.
Bristol for you?
Oh, goodness. I don't know if I can match what Brad and these guys haven't already said, but no, it's truly been an incredible place. Myself growing up, being fortunate enough to run some other really fast half-mile racetracks, coming to Bristol the first time gave me a lot of thought of Winchester, Indiana, the way you load. You never forget those feelings, as Brad was talking about. That first time you load back in the seat, and the next time you feel that, you're like, there it is, that old familiar feeling that you love and know that you have to respect. But truly a place that I've had an opportunity to have really good runs at. We're fortunate enough to win Dash for Cash for race back here many years ago. And just to Brad's point, I mean, I've been here where we've been pinned on the bottom for the entire race, and next thing you know, you come back and you've got to be an inch off the fence, and then, by the way, you got to get to lap traffic and figure that side of it out. So it is, you're just trying to maximize everything, whether it be getting through traffic, trying to really race yourself in the sense of total time, right? And I think from a fan's perspective, the first racetrack I remember watching as a kid was sitting at the foot of my father's bed, watching Dale Earnhardt and Terry Labonte go at it, a night race here at Bristol. So some iconic memories that are imprinted in my mind that hopefully some of the young fans we see out here will leave some of those moments imprinted in their minds here in the weeks to come.
Well, Austin, congratulations on such an incredible start to the year so far, leading the points with a win at your home track in Atlanta. And I am really sorry to ask you this question because I know drivers love this question. Is this your year?
Yeah, that's a tough question to answer so early in the season.
Just say yes. Just say yes.
Yeah.
It's a good plan.
Yeah, Brad says yes.
Yeah,
I think we've started the year off strong up until last week. We had a unfortunate circumstances happen last week. But, to start the year off like we have, we were able to run well at Daytona up until us having an issue, was able to win Atlanta. Then we go to a road course, ran top 5 there, finished 4th. And then last week we're going to have a pretty strong run, I felt like, and came up short there. But, I think all in all, if we keep doing what we've been doing to start the year, we'll have as good a chance as anyone to get the job done. But it's a very long season. A lot of things can happen. A lot of things can change. And really the main thing is once the playoff starts, you have to be on your game.
Well, I won't ask you that again, I promise. Daniel, you're racing in the Truck Series this season with MHR. You've sampled a lot of flavors in NASCAR. When you look at your season ahead, can you match your championship-winning season in Xfinity from 2021?
I don't see why not.
Yeah.
This group has proven well before I've been here that they are a young team, but everyone at MHR has done an incredible job at McAnally-Hilkman Racing. And Bill McAnally himself, our team owner, is an absolute hustler. I was joking earlier that I'm pretty sure he's figured out a way to clone himself. We got AI and all these things now. I think he's got a clone because I don't know anybody gets back and forth from the West Coast to the East Coast and does as much business as he does. But that's why I'm sitting here. I appreciate the opportunity. I wouldn't be sitting in this chair if I didn't think we were capable of doing it. It's just been fun too. Like you said, I've been fortunate enough to sample all 3 series. Fortunate enough to drive for this guy on the end, which was an incredible run. That was a lot of fun memories for me. But when I look back at it, yeah, I mean, you don't show up every week unless you think you have a shot, and this entire 19 team has that. But the best thing you can do is go do what Austin's already done, and that's win early in the season. And we're looking forward to hopefully having that chance, and there'll be no better place than do it here at Bristol.
And Brad, back to you. You and Chris Buescher have gelled together these last couple of seasons. Now you've added Ryan Preece into the mix with you guys. What's his addition been like?
Well, he's had a great start. Ryan Preece, we added a 3rd team at RFK to start the 2025 season, and Ryan came in, and there were some people that questioned whether he could do this or not, but I wasn't one of them. And I feel like we gave him the right cars, the right equipment, the right team. He could compete at a high level, and so far that's happened. He had a shot to win last week at Phoenix, and kind of got that untimely caution, but. I'm really excited about his prospects. We're just surrounding him with the cars and the people that he's going to need to take that next level in his career. And he's putting in the workload himself. So, we're hopeful that high tides kind of raise all ships with having 3 great cars at RFK. And we haven't gotten all the way there yet with what we're trying to achieve, but, a lot of promise in front of us.
When the helmet goes on, how good are you at separating driver and team owner?
Sometimes too good. So in 2022, I came here, and the Bristol night race, big race for us. I made the pass for the lead with about 100 laps to go. I'm setting sail, and I'm like, just let this race finish. 100 straight laps, let it finish. And about 50 laps to go, I blew a tire, and I was finished. And it's funny how that goes. And, so I blow the tire, and I'm mad, and I used a few words that, my mama wouldn't have been proud to hear me say. But you finish the race I was out of contention. And I get out of the car, and my teammate, the other car that I own, Chris Buescher, won the race. And, a bunch of people came up to me all excited and all that. I'm still mad.
Yeah.
I'm still driver Brad.
Sure.
I'm not ready to be owner Brad. But you got to kind of snap out of that after a minute and get over yourself. But it's fun. It's like you have 2 shots to win. Now I got 3 shots to win with having 3 teams in there. But I still want to win as a driver, and I still get really mad when I don't. So, but I got a hedge now. Because when I left Bristol, when Chris Buescher won the night race here in 22, I wasn't as mad.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It makes total sense.
So now if he'd have wrecked, but that's another story. So.
I mean, as the person that sees the bills, I'm sure that matters.
Yeah, it does matter. Yeah. It's but it can go the other way. You can win and your teammate crashed. So last year at Darlington, we won the race in the spring, and my teammate crashed, and that was kind of like, yay, boo, at the same time. Sure. It's such a mixed set of emotions. It's hard to explain to people what that's like. It's like having 2 kids, and like one has a great day and one has a bad day, and you're like, I want to be excited for the kid that had a great day so he knows I really love him and care about him, but then you're like, I can't get too excited because the one who's having a bad day, like, I don't want to rub it in on him, It's weird.
I like the analogy. That was perfect.
Thank you. Somebody here's got kids and understood that
sure.
one. I don't know.
I got you. I'm on your page.
You get it, yeah. For some reason, having 2 kids that
The
never
balance.
are both of them having a good day. I don't know how that's possible, but
When dad wins.
yeah, when Dad wins, yeah, okay, fair.
When we talk about money coming into the operation, you had a good day here in 2017. How much money did you take home?
Yeah, I was just reading it here. It was $100,000. It's funny how fast that stuff goes when you look back at it. And not time. That's the money I'm talking about. Yeah, that was a really cool day, and I touched on that earlier. That was kind of our first moment. Which since going to the Xfinity Series, it was obviously early in my time driving for then RCR, and some really cool moments just sharing with a young team then, and just really kind of what I take most from that day in particular. We all talk about kind of moments being imprinted in your mind, and I remember having to line up next to Logano and Kyle and these guys as that race was winding down and having to fend them off. And I think we ran 3rd or 4th maybe, and the point being is more or less about the money. It was about proving myself that I felt like I could line up toe-to-toe at a short track and I promise you, anybody you see run good here, you respect, because you're like, man, from a driver's perspective, you got to get after it. So it kind of proved to myself that I could do it at that level and gave me the confidence to kind of keep going. And but any day you walk out of the racetrack, if you're not holding the winning trophy, holding a check for $100,000 for another part of the day is not a bad day. So it's super cool. And then obviously, to flow that into what we have now in the Truck Series and the Triple Truck Challenge. I know as owner Brad and driver Brad, we all see certain things in our contracts, and they get your attention. And I'd honestly forgot about the Triple Truck Challenge. I was like, oh, hang on. What's that fine print down here they're hiding in the contract? So we had to go to work negotiating that stuff. But those are super cool incentives. And I still feel like I missed out the following year after I won the Dash for Cash. I ran second to Priest, and that year in the Xfinity Series, they got a side-by-side. What a cool gift. Now with my 2 kids, they would have had fun. I hope Priest's kids are enjoying it, because mine aren't.
I asked him the other day if he still got it. He
Okay.
Yeah,
well, but no, it's just cool to have little incentives like that, or big incentives really. That's a big deal for race teams, and for the Truck Series in particular, to have those bonus structures there. That goes a long way for these race teams.
Daniel, what'd you buy with your $100,000?
It may have been a down payment on my house.
Oh, that's a good one.
We like
Absolutely.
that.
All right, so what are you going to buy if you win the truck one?
Oh my gosh, that's a great question, Brad.
So you had one responsible buy. I feel like this one needs to be something completely irresponsible.
I do agree with that. I promise you, it'd be a really good problem to have to figure out.
Yes,
So I'll figure it out.
Well, side by side. And there we go.
Hey, there we go.
Sounds
There's
like
a little bit of woods behind my house. I'm
Yeah.
sure the kids would enjoy that now.
I was going to say, always a good buy, especially when you have
Or
kids.
I bartered with Priest to get mine back.
There you
that
go.
I felt like I should have
There
won.
you go. Well, Austin, that event that Daniel won in 2017 is returning here to Bristol, the Dash for Cash. How much extra incentive is that for you as a driver? Are you motivated by those things?
Well, I mean, I think it's one of those things that when you leave there and you have the extra 100K, it goes a long way, not just for yourself, but for the race team. I think you almost kind of leave there just with your chest bowed out a little extra, knowing that you were able to get the job done for your team, and you're walking out with some extra cash in your pocket. So, I wouldn't say that there's any extra like pressure or anything like that, but going into Bristol, if we are fortunate enough to be in the Dash for Cash, if we're not able to win the race, but we're able to kind of rough somebody up to be able to win the $100,000, we might have to do that. It's Bristol, so the bumpers are gonna, and the beating and banging and the sparks are gonna fly here. So you never know when you might have to use it.
And where's your $100,000 going?
Oh, that's a really good question.
Tuition.
I don't know.
Kids' tuition.
Yeah, tuition. That would actually be good. Yeah. Probably would go that route. I need to be financially responsible with the money, because
you gotta have fun, man.
Yeah, I know.
You got one life to
well,
live.
I would say a new bass boat, but I just bought a new bass boat from Bass Pro like last year sometime, so you can't do that. So I don't know. Maybe that's a really good question. Maybe a down payment.
We'll follow up after you.
Yeah, maybe
win
a down payment on some property so I can go deer hunting.
Okay, I like it. Austin, you race for Hall of Famer, team owner Richard Childress. What has he meant to your career?
Yeah, somebody like Richard, he's one of the few guys in this sport that has really given me a great opportunity and has believed in me and my abilities to be able to get inside our Bennett Chevrolet and be able to compete and get the job done and win races. And just having him in your corner, somebody that he's just a blue-collar guy that just loved racing, race cars, and then turned into a team owner and doing all the things he did with Dale Earnhardt Sr. and all the history behind RCR goes a long way. And for me to kind of build on top of that legacy on the Xfinity program and hopefully someday on the Cup program has been a really cool experience, and it's crazy to me to think that this is my 4th season with RCR. Time flies when you're having fun, and we've had a lot of fun with everybody at RCR, ECR. So, he's still at the age that he is at to this day. He wants to win races. He wants to compete each and every week. And if we're not winning races and we're not competing, he comes into the shop and he is mad. Like he's just that type of owner that. He's there every single day, Monday through Friday, and he's wanting to see us be able to compete for wins and compete for championships, and that's somebody I want to have in my corner.
Yeah. Well, this is going to be an open question for all three of you. Kyle Larson is going to attempt to join you, Brad, and the gang on winning in all three series here at Bristol. When someone like that makes a cameo in Xfinity in the Truck Series, why is he the one you want to beat?
I didn't know he hadn't done it already. It just seems like Kyle Larson's done so much in his career, but you know, one of the interesting things about racing and motorsports is your goals, your dreams, just by the way the sport's structure, is to deny somebody else of their goals and dreams. Like that's it. Like, you're here to make somebody else's day a bad day, you know, and you want them to go home saying second sucks and I'm unhappy or whatever it might be, and there's only one winner. It's probably something that we all like about the sport to some degree. But that said, there are some people that you like seeing go home angry. And I can imagine, not to speak too much for Daniel and Austin, that they would love to win this race and see Kyle Larson go home sad. Just a guess.
Well, I was thinking, I hope I can upset him first.
Yes, yeah. You know, it's
Friday night.
And you know, when you first say that, it sounds like, I don't know, wrong, like evil, but it's that's the sport, right? Your goal is to deny everybody else of theirs, and you know, there are some people that means more for. There was one or two particular people that I really enjoyed denying of their goals earlier in my career, that it just meant a little bit more. I think you probably guess a few of those, and it's sometimes it's because you have a personal rivalry against them. Sometimes it's just because, you know, things that they've done in their career, and you want to beat them.
Yeah, I mean, that's great, Brad. Good job. Good job answering. No, for me, you know, I you know, anytime that we get to race with a cup regular, there is that added little piece of it that you want to go out there and show that you can compete with a cup driver and that you can outrun that cup driver. So having Larson in the field is going to be awesome. I'm hoping it comes down to end of a race and I'm either chasing him or I'm leading and I'm holding him off, and I'm able to come out on top, just because I think it just helps build your confidence as a driver. It helps the whole NASCAR morale, as far as everyone that's watching the race is like, okay, that guy can get it done against a cup regular and somebody that's a champion in the Cup Series and all those things. But on the flip side of that, when I put my helmet on and I strap in, all I see is a door number for the most part, and all I know is that I'm trying to go out there and I'm trying to beat you because I want to be the one holding the trophy at the end of the day. So there's kind of mixed emotions there when you do have a cup regular.
Yeah, I don't have much to add, other than the fact that I learned running Xfinity races here 2 years ago that the Dale Jr. effect is real when he came and ran the Xfinity race. So I bring that up simply because obviously, as much as we do know we're just competing against the cars, to Austin's point of all you see is a paint scheme on the racetrack, but there is a different vibe, right? There's a couple more seats filled. There's a bigger line in and out of the tunnel when you got those guys that come run the lower series. And as that's happening, it makes everybody want to elevate and bring their game to the next level. And for some guys trying to still prove themselves, it is an opportunity to do something really good. It's also an opportunity to make a fool out of yourself, and I'm sure all of us have probably been on both sides of that. But the good thing about all this is the opportunity is there. It's kind of up to you to go take it, and all we can hope is that you find yourselves an opportunity to it comes down there so you can do exactly what you know you're capable of.
Well, as we know, one of the crown jewels on the NASCAR season is the Bass Pro Shops night race. We're going to project that all three of you are racing in the playoffs during that weekend. Mentally, how did things change for you then?
Yeah, it's tough. You know, you don't want to beat yourself in the playoff races, and that's so easy to do. But you know, crown jewels are still crown jewel races, and they're big trophies, and they're big moments in your career. You know, winning the Xfinity race here in 2008, the fall one, that was one of the biggest wins of my career, and really catapulted me to higher levels. And you know, those opportunities, you don't get those every day. to make a mark. And so you want to capitalize on them. You know, they're legacy-defining races. You know, I was fortunate enough to win the Bristol Cup Night race here in 2011, and it's still one of my all-time favorite wins. I'll just never forget the feeling of racing against the best and beating them here. So, you know, even though it's the playoffs, there's a lot of reasons to just go race.
Sure.
And you find yourself baited into that, but it's tough to balance those. It is. You know, you got a car to win, you've got to go take those shots. You know, you don't have a car to win, you know, you need to survive the night and get a great finish and move on. So, you know, everybody has their own individual decisions to make there, Amanda.
Yeah, and for me, you know, with it being a playoff weekend, Bristol's very tough. I mean, I know we've already kind of talked about how tough the racetrack is, and you can get so caught up in the moment of it being playoff weekend and almost kind of psych yourself out. So, you know, last year I felt like I did a pretty good job of staying more relaxed and laid back when the playoffs started. I'm hoping to do that again for this playoff season coming up. In a place like Bristol, it's very easy to get amped up and almost kind of psych yourself out, like I was saying. So, you know, for me, obviously your goal is always to go win the race, but if you can't win the race, if you don't have a car that's capable enough of getting the job done, just go maximize the day. Go get stage points and be in contention. Run inside the top 10. If your car is a 10th place car, go run 10th or try to like squeeze yourself into 7th or 8th, maybe on a late race restart. Don't take yourself out of contention of running top 10 and end up early in a wreck, and next thing you know, you finish 35th, and now you're having to dig yourself out of a hole going into the next weekend. So that's the biggest thing that I take away from these playoff races is intensity's high, but you can really psych yourself out and make yourself have a very bad day, and it lead into a really bad first three races in that first round. So, yeah, just laid back attitude kind of goes a long way.
Sure.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Both of what these guys said, I think it's truly a matter of understanding your objective and doing your job. I think there's a lot to be made on everyone trying to elevate the intensity and do the things. The next thing you know, you're doing the things that you haven't done all year that put you in that position. And we're all professional race car drivers, right? You do your work during the week, you show up, and you execute at a high level. And if you do that around this place, as trying as it can be, the result's going to take care of itself. And I'm a firm believer that you can lay your head down at night and know you did 100% of everything you could, well, then you're going to be happy with whatever that result is. And I feel like I was fortunate enough to be on the good side of that throughout many playoff runs, especially in the Xfinity Series. And yeah, I don't think you can approach it much differently than that. And yeah, it's just some days or some years, as we've all seen, it can be your year or it can't. But if you do your job wholeheartedly, there's nothing to hang your hat on.
All right, just quickly, and my toughest question of the day. Braves or Reds?
Braves.
Yeah, Atlanta Braves.
I feel like I might get lynched if I didn't say the Braves. And
Okay,
so
all
I feel
right.
like
There we go.
I heard
Clean
some
sweep.
disgruntled sounds from
Clean
backstage.
sweep,
Oh, no.
Braves.
Well, thank you guys. And that race that's coming up, the Food City 500, will be the weekend of April 11th and 13th. We look forward to having you all with us. What is that I hear? Oh, I think it's a giveaway time. All right, so these are going to be for tickets. Brad, we've already done the spring race, so I got the fall race for you, and gentlemen, spring and fall. We'll start with the Truck Series, Friday night when you beat Kyle Larson first.
Okay, am I reading this out?
Yeah,
The whole number?
go for it.
All right. 329-835. 329-835. We got a winner.
Right.
Look at that. Congrats. You might get to come to the best show of the weekend. What do I hand her?
right.
Just give her a ticket?
This is the playoff race. Yeah.
All right, here we go. Playoff race? Maybe. 329-852. 852. Congrats.
I just love making people's days.
Yeah, that's good.
This isn't ruining someone's day. This is making someone's day.
All right, for the Xfinity deal, 329-829. Sweet. 3 women in a row. Yeah. Do I do one more, right? All right, fall race. Here we go. Yep, 329833. There you go.
All right, let's see here. I'm shaking it up here. I want to make sure I get it all mixed up. All right, 3, 2, 1. The last, the final, the best. 329838. Bristol Night Race. Come on up. It's Bristol, baby.
All right.
Yeah,
One of our little
838.
leaguers.
Congrats, man.
I don't know if he's got it. I'm going to give it to him, though. Come on down, buddy.
All right, another big round of applause for our NASCAR drivers taking
appreciate it,
time
guys.
out of
Thank you.
their busy schedule
Thank
to
you.
join us here for our big league year. Thank you, guys. All right, so let's change things up a bit. I think I just said change up. I think that is a baseball reference. In case you have missed the news, Bristol will be your host for the matchup between the Atlanta Braves and the Cincinnati Reds come August of 2025 this season. If you guys have not seen the renderings that Brad was talking about, they are over there in the South Building before you exit. Make sure to take a look at that. It is super impressive. That's going to be on August 2nd at 7 p.m. Let's take a look at what this will look like. Well, as you can tell, we're super excited about the MLB Speedway Classic here in Bristol. And Jerry, my very first question for you, how did this happen?
Well, you never know who's looking at you when you put on other events. And we have established ourselves as the home of big events here at Bristol Motor Speedway. And looking back at 2016 when we hosted Tennessee and Virginia Tech in battle at Bristol, little did we know Major League Baseball at that time was beginning to think about unique venues for baseball games. And started looking at it that. This has been about a 2 or 3 year conversation, though. We've locked arms with Major League Baseball and are thrilled to be able to host what we believe will be one of the largest baseball games in history, first in the state of Tennessee, right here at Bristol Motor Speedway on August the 2nd. And we love making history here. We love putting on big events. We've got an amazing team here at Bristol that they make it look really easy, but it's really hard and complex. It's been a ton of work, but we're thrilled to be able to, again, lock arms with Major League Baseball and bring our friends from Atlanta and Cincinnati over to take on the Speedway.
Well, in talking of our friends, it is my pleasure to welcome up two individuals from Major League Baseball. First, please welcome Atlanta Braves 2018 Hall of Fame member, Tim Hudson. And from the Cincinnati Reds, the club's all-time save leader and the 2018 Hall of Fame inductee, Danny Graves. That song never gets old, ever. I could listen to it like once every 6 months and I'm jumping off my couch and raging. It's just great.
I've never came out to that song ever in my life, and that was so awesome right there.
There's a first for everything, Danny.
Yes.
Tim, I'm going to start with you. I just can't believe we're going to be having a baseball game inside of a racetrack. What is that like for you?
You know what? It's honestly, I've never thought about it till this season when they announced it. I think it's really awesome. You know, Major League Baseball does a really cool job of creating some experiences with the game. And I mean, what a perfect opportunity to do something to be able to merge NASCAR with MLB, the fans. I mean, great opportunity to come here to Bristol and you know, just have a really cool experience for the fans. I know us as players, we never really had a chance to play in something cool like this. But I know the players are probably going to be really looking forward to getting here, and the organizations being able to come up here and just seeing what it's all about.
Now, if you were given your sales pitch on Major League Baseball making a stop here in Tennessee, what do you think the fans are going to see?
Gosh, I think, two storied programs, organizations, the Reds, the Braves. I know what the Braves are all about. They have a rich tradition in winning, and, obviously with with Cincinnati, they have a new manager there, Terry Francona. He was our bench coach when I was in Oakland, so I know what kind of guy he is and what kind of winner he is as a manager, and he's going to have those guys ready to play. So it's going to be exciting. I think it's going to be a fast G-force type of game.
Yeah.
I can tell you that after today, there's definitely going to be a lot of G's on that field.
And how cool it is to say welcome back to Tito now as team manager with the Reds. Any expectations on him, Danny?
Well, according to the drivers over there, they think the Braves are going to beat the Reds, so probably not many big expectations, right? But I think I kind of would have sided with them too, because the Braves right now have been a much better team than the Reds have as of late. But the Reds are young. I think they're getting better. But this is a huge piece, I think, that they were missing for a long time in the manager. As players, former players, there's certain managers that everybody would love to play for. Bobby Cox was one of them. Sure. And Tito's got to be another one. And now the Reds youngsters, these young stars, are going to get to grow with Tito. And I'm saying he's not coming out of retirement to rebuild. He's coming out of retirement to hopefully win quick.
That's cool. We talk about these exhibition games, and especially right here in Bristol, what we're going to see in August. How does this help Major League Baseball expand the reach of baseball?
So I'll just say this first. I think the state of Tennessee should have had a Major League Baseball team long before now. And I know the Nashville Stars merchandise is all kind of out there everywhere. I think this is going to be huge for Major League Baseball in the state of Tennessee. People are going to realize that there's going to be a huge fan base here for baseball. And I know they've had the Nashville Sounds, and as a professional team, they've got great colleges around that have great baseball organizations. But to have Major League Baseball here in Tennessee,
sure,
it's long overdue.
Well, Danny, he's arguably one of the most exciting players in the major leagues right now. We're speaking of the speedster, Ellie De La Cruz. How apropos is it that he's going to play in a game that is at a racetrack?
Yeah, speed, right? But I can tell you this. Tim and I both have experienced the G's today with Austin and Brad driving us around, and it is no joke. We played a sissy sport compared to what these guys do. It's unreal. Now, Ellie probably wouldn't be able to do that because he's too tall. He's like 6'5" or 6'6". But I know he cannot handle going as fast as we did around those corners today. Turn 3, right? Is that what it was?
Yeah, and it really wasn't that fast, honestly. It was like 90 miles an hour. I feel like such a weenie. Yeah.
And yes, we just finally got over our nausea, too. We were very, sick, wanting to throw up earlier.
So are you taking that again, or a 100-mile-per-hour fastball at you?
You can hit me with a 100-mile-an-hour fastball every day. That will only hurt
you
for like a second.
You guys did good. Well done back there.
I'm telling you, and Austin was having this nice, easy conversation with me, and I'm sitting there on the side like this, just holding on for dear life, and I'm like, we can be done whenever you want. And then he missed pit road and went around a couple more times. I'm like, okay, I'm ready.
Yeah, I think he missed pit road on purpose a couple of times just to have another spin around it.
We already had admiration for these guys. They didn't have to really prove it.
Well, Jerry, I do want to come back to you because I thought you mentioned something interesting with you never know who's watching what you're doing, and you come from the experience of having the football game that was here. How will you lean on that in this turnaround from what's going to be a baseball game back into NASCAR?
Yeah, it's going to be quite the undertaking. You've, relating it back to sports, you got to have a lot of faith in your team, and we've got an amazing team here in Bristol. We've got an amazing operations team, and Steve Swift, a head engineer for Speedway Motorsports, is the best out there. So it's all about planning, and it's all about relying on that team to be able to execute how they know how to do it. But it's going to be a huge undertaking. We're going to convert from a racetrack into a baseball stadium. Then we've got about 6 weeks to get back to a racetrack to be able to host NASCAR playoff race. So it's going to be a huge undertaking, but we're blessed with an amazing team, and I know we'll be able to do it.
Well, Danny, I hate to tell you this. We had 2 more NASCAR drivers in William Byron and Austin Dillon stop by Truist Park and take in some fun with Braves players. We're going to take a look at that now. Jerry, did you think you'd ever have the opportunity to promote baseball and racing in a single season?
I love it. I love it. We love welcoming all kinds of folks to Bristol Motor Speedway.
And then when you talk about the spirit of what is the racing community, what are you expecting in the community with this Speedway Classic?
Well, we cannot do what we do without this community and the tremendous support. And we've had tremendous support for a really long time from all of the surrounding community. Obviously, Bristol leading the pack, but all of the region, and we are so grateful for that. But it's also really important for us to be able to give back whenever we can. We've got Speedway Children's Charities that Claudia and Betsy run and do an amazing job, but as this event comes in with baseball, we want to make sure that we're paying it forward on the baseball front as well. So we've got some representatives today from Bristol Little League that are here with us, and we're going to be donating more than 3,000 baseballs and softballs to the local youth in the region with partnering with Rawlings. So, guys, would you mind stand up and wave at everybody? Thank you for being here with us. Appreciate you guys, and we're thrilled to be able to get people excited about baseball in the region.
Jerry, do you hear that? I think
Another
I heard
giveaway.
What was that? What was that again? All right. You know, our ladies were pretty lucky last time, so Luck Be a Lady is working. Okay, so what do we have on this one? Because this one's really cool. There's tickets, there's a prize bag, and there's tickets to the game. So the first one is, it looks like the first ones will be to the game.
2 tickets to the Major League Baseball game, Speedway Classic.
329-855.
329-855.
329-855.
Uh-oh, maybe they left.
Uh-oh.
Oh, you have to be here.
Well,
Going once.
sad news, you lose.
Going twice.
Going twice. Everyone got their ticket out?
Got to be fast around here. You're going to miss out.
All right. I think
Go to
that's
the
a
next
new,
one.
I think that's a new ticket, Tim.
Uh-oh. You try this one.
Okay.
I'll try this one. Okay, we have 329-806.
All right.
Hey.
And we're going to see you on August 2nd.
Nice.
All right, the next one is for the prize pack. We'll try again, Tim.
Okay.
Three, 863. 329-863.
Tim.
Come on, Tim.
For 2. Golly. Stay hot, huh?
Swing and a miss again.
I'm saying we're 2 strikes, right?
Give me another one of those things.
At least foul this one off, maybe.
Facing Mariano Rivera right now. 329-857.
There we go.
Yes.
There we go.
Nice. Had to battle right there.
Jerry, I'm going to have you stay up here with me, gentlemen. It was so pleasure to have you stop by and talk about our big league year here at Bristol Motor Speedway. What an honor to have your insight on what's inevitably will be an extremely historic and dynamic event right here in Bristol, Tennessee.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to switch gears literally from 100-mile-per-hour baseballs into race cars that can go 340 miles per hour. This is one that's after my own heart. The National Hot Rod Association will stop here for the Super Grip NHRA Thunder Valley Nationals in June. Let's take a look. All right, and during that video, the fastest man in the National Hot Rod Association setting over a 340-mile-per-hour run after winning a championship in Pomona last season, your 2024 Funny Car champion, Austin Prock.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here.
So Bristol was a dang good stop for you last year. You were the #1 qualifier. You beat John Force in the Mission Too Fast, Too Tasty Challenge on Saturday, and you won the race. Same expectations for you this season?
Absolutely. You know, any weekend you go into, you want to have those dominating performances. So, yeah, that was a weekend to remember. I think that was our first hat trick, if you will. So, and it was one of many last year. So great season. It was amazing to race with my family. My dad, Jimmy Prock, and my brother, Thomas Prock, they're my crew chiefs on my Chevrolet SS. So yeah, it was a great year.
And Jerry, you guys have a history of speed and high performance at this track that goes back 60 years. Talk about kind of the diversity that we see here at Bristol.
Well, there is such tremendous history. I mean, and we are known as Thunder Valley, and that really is due to the dragway. Being able to hear those cars roar at 330, hopefully 340 miles an hour one day. There's nothing else like it. It is a full body experience to come to a drag racing event. Every ticket is a pit pass. If you've never experienced it, you really need to. But to see all the different cars, from Funny Car, Top Fuel, Pro Mod, on down to the motorcycles, there really is just a wonderful experience.
And Austin, I think you might agree with me on this. I have to say that your race is probably one of our most popular on the tour, and not only for the hospitality and coming down to the south and being part of the culture of Bristol, but the track is literally in the side of a mountain. It's beautiful. But the June date, it works so well for you guys.
It really does. We're the week before Father's Day again this year, and that has really worked well for us. Again, tied to the long history that drag racing has here in Bristol. So many of the participants and the team members and everybody else, they're like family. So it's like a homecoming week for them, and we're thrilled to be able to welcome them back for the Super Grip Thunder Valley Nationals again.
Austin, there's some kids in the audience and people listening as well, and I can't even physically imagine what this sensation is like. As the driver, how do you process 340 miles an hour in 1,000 feet?
Very carefully and very quickly. You know, when we ran 341 miles an hour, it only took 3.8 seconds. So, you know, trying to get your mind right, this sport is very mental from the driver's standpoint. So getting your mind in the right spot and just essentially trying to slow time down, that's about the only way you can, you know, manhandle one of these race cars down the 1,000-foot course.
Jerry mentioned that every ticket to an NHRA race is a pit pass, and drivers get to experience that firsthand as well. What's it like for you on the weekends, Austin, knowing that someone can walk up to the window, purchase a ticket, walk into the event, and find you?
Well, it's the only professional sport where you have that type of access with a general admission pass. So last weekend was a great example of it keeping me entertained. We had some horrendous weather down in Gainesville, Florida, and the only thing to keep me busy was go out and mingle with the fans, and to see that crowd there and how many of them stuck around to watch it rain. The only reason they did is because they can get from me to you to their favorite race car drivers and race cars. So that's one thing that I'm very proud that NHRA offers.
I think one of, if you followed Austin Prock's story last year, it was in Epping at the top end when John Force announced in an interview that he personally chose Austin Prock to become the second driver in Funny Car for him last season. Having your career aligned with John Force, how will that impact you for the rest of your life, Austin?
Well, he gave me an opportunity to live my dream. Ever since I could think, all I wanted to do was drive a professional race car. I didn't care what category it was in, whether it was going to be in NASCAR or World of Outlaws sprint car racing or drag racing. I grew up open wheel racing on the USAC circuit, and everybody always told me, you're going to end up in a nitro funny car. And I'm like, you guys are crazy. Like, I love what I'm doing here. And, when John Force gave me a call in 2017 to come over to his team, and he was going to train me as a developmental driver, the only thing I could say was yes. And obviously, it was the greatest decision I ever made.
Could you say luck be a lady, Austin? All right, one more giveaway.
Are you calling me a chick?
I'm just saying, it's the theme of the day right now. Let's see what this is. This one's for prizes as well. I believe this one will be for the NHRA Super Grip Thunder Valley Nationals, as well as for the PDRA, which also races here as well. And with that, I'd like to bring up our two-time champion in the PDRA, Amber Denton. All right. Welcome, Amber.
329847.
All right.
Look, another lady.
We'll see. Look. Luck be a lady.
Ladies are winning.
All right, and Amber, I'm going to have you draw one too, but while we do that, your experience of coming to Bristol.
Yeah, so last year was our first year racing in Bristol, which was really special. I feel like as a driver, it's a bucket list track for a lot of us. And coming in, it was a lot of our first time racing at the track, being in the valley and learning all the challenges that brings, just air and different things. So I feel like coming back this year, we're going to be able to put on a lot better of a show. Not that last year wasn't, but I think the teams are really going to be able to step it up. This one is 329825.
All right.
We had to get a lady up here drawing to make sure the man won.
Well, I want to appreciate everyone to being with us here today at Bristol Motor Speedway. As you guys can tell, it's going to be quite the year here for the big league year in 2025. To our drivers joining us here today, for some special guests of Major League Baseball stopping by. And Jerry, you as always, any final thoughts?
Yeah, most importantly, thank you. Thank you to everybody that came to visit, all the drivers and players. Thank you to our community and all the fans that came out to support us and everything that we do at Bristol. We would not be doing the things we do or who we are without the race fans here. And I also just have to say, back in the end of September, tragedy struck our area here with Hurricane Helene. And this area right where we were sitting turned into the Northeast Tennessee Disaster Relief Center. And it's just amazing to think where we were 6 months ago and where we are today. We've got some dear friends that helped us run all that. And Brian and Amanda are here. Stan's always here. But the way the community rallied around and supported this area. So thankful for that, but looking forward to a wonderful big league year. Thank you, guys.